Welcome back to another JIVij podcast episode. My name is JERiCK.
And I'm Felicia.
And I am Shawnee.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome, Sean.
Welcome, Shawnee.
Welcome myself.
Or Shirley. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Felicia.
And welcome back, Felicia.
I know.
It's been a while.
God,
It's been probably like a month at least.
Yeah, I would say definitely a month and a half or so.
Yeah.
I was on the way here like, do I remember how to talk?
I feel like I would just.
Yeah, I just talk.
Yeah, just
Thanks.
talk.
Just be yourself.
Okay.
But anyways, we start the podcast with weekly updates.
Okay.
Or weekly interests.
Mm-hmm.
Anything interesting that you guys want to share? Anybody want to start? Felicia?
Ladies first.
Nothing's
first.
changed, guys.
For the month and a half.
But I mean, like, guess what's going to be talked about right now?
Okay.
It's only because, I'd never watched the AMAs, American Music Awards. That's what it's called. They had their 50th anniversary yesterday.
Right.
The music industry is in shambles right now. Like, my whole entire, life list of people I listen to are probably going to be criminals, but it's fine.
Nobody's safe.
I know. No, but they were doing like different performances, paying tribute to like the different genres of music. And I'm a huge Stray Kids fan.
Oh.
I
Oh,
love.
Who's your bias, if I may ask?
By the way, Shawnee is a very K-pop heavy.
Really?
So
Yes.
Oh my
he
God.
actually teaches K-pop.
At
Do you
the
still?
at the Arena Empire. Yeah,
Really?
on Wednesdays.
So if you want to
What's
take a
the
K-pop
age-
class,
what's the
I'm sorry,
age
not
group?
Wednesday, Thursdays. Oh, God.
What's the age group?
Anyone.
Because my son's 6, but he be trying to dance the moves,
Or I think they do.
I don't know if they do
promote as a
allow
teen.
kids.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a night class.
Oh, yeah. I see that. Anyways, but my
You
bias-
can.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't,
You
Felicia.
can.
I can
You
take
do-
it.
There's no excuse for you. You can
take
teach
it home.
Oh my God, I would die. But my bias is Felix.
Well, if you,
Felix? Well, guess who's also biased? Is Felix. Oh,
well, if you ever
baby
teach
Felix.
Stray Kids, you better make sure you DM her. Be like, hey,
I for
I'm
sure.
doing
I got
Stray
that
Kids.
Insta earlier. I
Yeah,
got you.
there you go.
I got you.
I've been obsessed. And I'm new though. So I'm
Okay.
new to K-pop and I'm new to like me being obsessed. But they did a tribute yesterday to boy
Yes.
bands, and the tribute they did was with NSYNC. And when I was a young child, I loved NSYNC. Like, out of all the boy bands, NSYNC was the only one I really favored. Like, I went to their concerts and had their pictures up and had the t-shirts. So to like watch my newest like boy band obsession perform a tribute to like my childhood boy band obsession was like, what is this like mix of worlds? And then my son loves Stray Kids too, so it's like something we bond over. But they just came out. So my update is they came out with 2 songs last night, or yesterday. Yesterday was the 7th, right?
Today's the 7th.
Oh, today's the 7th. Well,
Yeah.
I listened to it last night.
I think it's probably you.
Oh,
like,
because
do like an Eastern time. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But anyways, so they have 2 songs that I think they created for Tower of God, which I'm not into. I think it's a manga.
Okay.
So Tower of God season 2. But Falling Up is my favorite from the one that was released, and then they have another one that's called Night.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I do like Stray Kids actually.
Man,
Felicia got me into them.
I love that.
we were doing Stray Kids reaction videos.
That
so-
should be
Yeah,
it.
we did.
I would love to be added on K-pop reaction
Okay,
videos.
the next
please.
one,
Next
yeah,
one.
we will for sure.
Next one. I have not watched their NSYNC performance.
Oh my God!
yet,
And can I
so-
tell you?
Was it good?
Can I tell you a secret? This is how deep of a hole I am in right now with Stray Kids. Is I actually signed up for Bubble.
What's that?
The Bumble app?
No, not Bumble, Bubble.
What's that?
I don't know if it's only offered for like the JYP artists, but it's this app where you can message the artists. You have to,
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
you gotta
about.
pay like a fee. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Wait,
small.
how much is it?
It's a small fee, like
Wait, what?
$2.99 or something.
Okay, that's not bad.
Like
But-
2.99?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Okay, I'm like $2.99. I'm like, damn.
Okay, if that's small to her. We don't. That's amazing.
No, so like you can. I don't know. It makes me.
So how does it work? Do they actually message back?
So I guess the rules of the platform is they'll see the messages, they can't see your profile, and they can choose to respond. But you won't know. It won't be a private conversation. So if they
so
if
it's
they
like
answer
Twitter.
your question, everyone's gonna see it. But it's not like just you and them.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes they go on and they just they show like extra
kinda
photos and like the music they're listening to, and
So it's kind of like Patreon in a way.
I guess in a sense, but like for
Yeah.
texting.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind
But
of cool.
I think it's cool. It's just fun to do.
That's cute.
Me.
Hey, I mean, like,
Have you got responded back with any of yours?
I mean, I feel like I have like some of the questions I've asked. Like I feel like, oh, that answer could apply to that, but you never
Right.
know. There's probably like millions of people they're talking to.
you get to see everyone else's questions?
No, you don't.
so
Yeah,
you
so
don't even know if it applies to you.
So you only see yours and the artist that you choose. Because you had to choose the artist that you want to speak
Right.
to.
oh, okay.
So I chose Felix and Bang Chen because
Of course.
oh,
also
like
because-
specific people.
yeah. Also because I know they speak English and I speak.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, oh, I should probably do the others because they do translations for you on the app
Right.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's awesome.
Hey, that's kind of
That's
cool.
cute.
I mean, there's a lot of fans out there that would like want to talk to their favorite artists. So I get it.
But my goal, I told my son, I was like, our goal for next year, if they tour in the United States, is for us to go to a show.
I'm sure they would come to the
needs to
United
happen.
States
Mm-hmm.
just because they're so popular here.
I know
I
because
mean, I
they
don't see
have
why
been
you
doing a
would.
lot of like more, I guess, American-based type
Yeah.
music industry stuff, like the AMAs. Well, I guess they pay homage to like K-pop, but
Right.
not often. I don't
Yeah.
think.
But I feel like a lot of K-pop now too is very mainstream.
They're coming here
Yeah.
hard. Like compared to the years when I was
Especially like
listening there.
started with like, I mean, I started before that, but like Blackpink was kind of like
Right.
really big. I think they were the first K-pop group that performed at Coachella.
I don't know about that, but I want to say yes to at least Coachella.
But yeah, so like
was.
that's huge. So that means like they're actually like here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
that's kind of
true.
cool.
But
But yeah, I remember the tiny waves of when K-pop tried to hit the American music, and it just, I mean, they were successful in their own ways, but it
Yeah.
just wasn't known.
Yeah, like
Like-
not like mainstream.
yeah,
like
I
people
was,
knew
yeah,
about
'cause
them.
I
but,
wasn't
yeah.
even really familiar with the whole scene. I knew people that were familiar with K-pop, years and years ago, but it's just been recent for me. And I think Blackpink was the first
Yeah.
To do Coachella.
to at least I was familiar with. I
Oh,
was
so,
like, oh, okay,
yeah.
like what is this?
Yeah. And,
I think Gangnam Style actually was the first.
I mean-
song.
shit,
yeah, that-
yeah.
oh yeah, we totally forgot about. I mean, like that.
Everyone was getting
Well,
yeah.
that was definitely like a breakthrough for K-pop, for sure, because
Yeah.
everybody was dancing that and everybody
Right.
was listening to it.
right.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Because it helped, like, when people looked up Gangnam Style and K-pop, it helped the people find other artists
Yeah.
that was associated
Like
in the
it-
K-pop
I mean, if
world
you
over
like
there, too.
Gangnam Style, like I'm sure you'll like other
Other artists
K-pop
are
stuff,
out there.
too.
Yeah,
That's true. But yeah, it's been great. It's been a great ride.
it has
Yeah.
big waves. I will never forget. Like, even back then, I was like, oh, I wish K-pop was more mainstream because people would enjoy it a lot
Yeah.
more, from the dance choreography to the music.
Yeah.
And I just never understood why it was never blown up. And then
Right.
finally we got, Gangnam Style was the first one, but then I would say like BTS did a
Yeah.
big dent. Blackpink also did a
Yeah.
big dent. Girl-wise, Blackpink.
Yeah.
Guy-wise, BTS. And of course you have like Twice, who a lot of people love and care about too. To hit like the big wave, but it really made waves of now people wanting to know K-pop and wanting to
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
it was back then. Because I would also, to me, I would argue like I don't know if the K-pop sound from the 2000s, like early 2000s, late 2000s, are the same type of K-pop sound like that is being released today in South Korea.
I see.
Like I do feel like they're getting a little bit more westernized to hit more of the audience
Right.
that
I
are
can
growing
see
up
that,
with
yeah.
the new K-pop, which is totally fine because I feel like new generation K-pop should be for the new generation. It may
Yeah.
not
Right.
be for the older generation, but we can still, like and appreciate what they're coming out
Absolutely.
for it. But yeah, two different sounds because back then, I can picture a K-pop song that would have been like looked, side-eyed. But now
Yeah.
you hear more recent ones like Blackpink with their hardcore. And
Yeah.
people are like, oh,
Yeah, because I think, I think one of the reasons, at least for me, why I like Blackpink a lot is because their sound is so, I guess, I don't know if lack of a better term, is like westernized, very hip hop heavy,
Right.
like not too, I guess, pop. I don't know. Yeah, like, because a lot of like
Yeah.
the girl groups are very, like this.
Yes.
And
I feel like
like
I can
Blackpink
agree.
is a little bit more like swaggy.
Yeah, a
and
little
like,
bit
yeah.
more.
YG
rough.
flavorings, but that's
Is that what they
YG
say?
Entertainment has its own. Before Blackpink, it was 21, and 20.
Oh yeah, I do remember 21.
Its
yeah.
own very special flavor too, and then Blackpink went from that, and now we have a new one called Baby Monster, which is getting up in the air
Okay.
too, from them, which is very swaggy. They
Yeah.
focus a lot more so on rap. when it
Yes,
comes to
I
that.
know what you're talking about.
But
'Cause
yeah.
even their look too is very edgy.
Their
Yeah.
boy groups too in YG are kind of the same flavor too, but it's called the YG flavor
Yeah.
because it is their unique style and songs
Yeah, nice.
for it.
Well, my weekly interest is actually music based too.
Oh, okay.
So Christina Aguilera released like a live performance for her like 25th anniversary of her like first album.
Right.
It's on like Spotify. I mean, it's on YouTube too. But she performed like her popular ones like Genie in the Bottle, What a Girl Wants. And I was just like, man, like this, I really like this because it's a live band and it sounds different from the original, which is
Right.
I really appreciate because like as a musician, I appreciate like the art of kind of like live music. And I was like, damn, like she still got it. Like she's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
All those years.
I know.
Yeah,
Nothing.
like
has
25
changed.
years. Damn,
Like,
that's crazy.
An absolute. She can sing.
Yeah, and
She's always been a singer.
and one of the performance, What a Girl Wants, she had a guest star, which is Sabrina Carpenter,
Oh, I saw that.
which I wasn't really familiar with her. I've heard of her before, and like I saw some of like clips on like Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok, for sure.
But when I heard her sing, like I really liked her voice for some reason. Something about her voice that like really gravitated me towards her because like it was like very, I don't know if I would just describe it as like velvety,
A velvet.
just kind of like has like the rasp to it.
Breathy?
But I don't know what the term is, but like I just really like her voice a lot, and so I looked up some of her music, and Espresso,
Right.
which is her like most popular one that has like been out for a little bit. Like I really like because it like has like an 80s vibes to it, and like I'm like okay, like I like this. I might actually like look into her like album or something. Like I might
Yeah.
actually listen to it and see if she actually has like good music.
Right.
But yeah, I've just kind of been not obsessing, but like that's my interest right now. Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, I'm just like, all right, I fucked with this. Yeah, because I like her style, I like her voice. I mean, she's also very cute, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she's made on. She is a very cute idol. I really
Yeah.
like her too. I haven't
Do you
heard
like
her
her?
music. I have not heard her music that much yet, but I have been.
But you know the
seeing
Espresso song?
all over TikTok is
Yeah.
a popular dance that
Espresso?
people want
Yeah.
to do.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
You might like it.
I'm familiar with Sabrina Carpenter because my best friend really enjoys like Taylor Swift and Sabrina
Oh,
Carpenter.
okay.
We actually I went to Vegas recently for her 30th birthday.
Okay.
And we went to the Brooklyn Bowl and they had like this themed party where they feature an artist's music, but then they play all music similar to theirs. But what I really enjoyed is along with the music, so there was a live DJ and someone like emceeing the entire show, but they played it with the music videos. So what I
Oh,
appreciated
that's
more
cool.
was the visuals because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I'll just
photo ideas? Oh my
actually
God.
then I must send you that Espresso music video because like it does have your kind of like color palette.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
It's very retro.
Okay.
Yeah. And like kind
Yeah,
of like
send it to
faded
me.
in a way. Yeah.
I wonder if it was one of the ones I saw because while I was listening and like drinking and partying, I was like writing in my phone like notes on like what photo shoots to do.
Yeah. I'll send that. I'll send that to you after the podcast. But yeah, that's my weekly interest: Christina
nice.
Aguilera and
Sabrina
Sabrina
Carpenter.
Carpenter.
Look at that. NSYNC, Christina. What you got?
Yeah. What you got?
Not really music is my weekly interest.
Okay.
Mine is still it's like an everyday interest. It is dance, as you guys know.
Okay.
Oh Yes.
a dancer. But what makes it special, what makes it different now is that my team is now kind of not getting rid, we're finishing up our projects that lasted throughout the summer, and now we're getting
Okay.
ready for new stuff to be coming out for December.
Nice.
So it's just a new, fresh kind of air in the studio right now, because now we're kind of getting rid of filming. We're filming and getting our photo shoots done for our existing projects that we were working
wow.
on, and now we're kind of replacing it with new projects. So just a lot of
Nice.
excitement for that. New people to work with, even though we're all one team. This new, we're all going to be in different segments within each
Right,
other.
right.
So new people to be working with, new songs that we're going to be choreographing to, new showcases.
Awesome.
stuff like
I mean, I've been
that.
seeing a lot of you guys' videos, so
Oh my
you've been
gosh.
making them, huh?
But I have been editing
Killing
some
it.
of them. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm practicing on that. Not always me though. There are people editing. It's just that we have so much content.
Yeah.
that you'll be shocked. Like if I swear, like if I have everything edited and ready to go, if we want to promote every single day, we should be good for the next year and a half. Like
Damn.
just by ourselves.
Okay.
Wow.
It's just our classes too, because we take videos of all our classes.
Okay.
And we usually have 5 to 7 classes every single month.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, though, we're so backtrack on classes that I'm still editing classes that we done in the previous studio. Like, we are not even promoting the classes we've been doing in our new studio.
Oh, okay.
Because we're trying to backtrack and get everything
Right.
kicking out, coming out. But if I were to that's just the classes. So without doing like the extra TikToks we do, the showcases, videos, the dance cover videos, the performances, the competitions, the classes itself is like a good
Yeah,
bunch for
and that's
that.
the thing with like content too, is like you're already an artist, right? Creating your art, but then you also have to be a content creator.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
totally different game.
Especially when dance we
Challenging.
rely on the promotion. We
Yeah.
rely on what currently the audience wants to help grow and what they want. We still want to keep our color into it, do
Right.
what we want to do. That's
Yeah.
what we post, but also keep in mind like what the trend is also too, because that's also what our audience wants.
Yeah,
as
it's
a
just like
dancer.
it's just a whole different game.
Yeah.
It is. It's fun and it's really fun doing it. It is a great experience doing it. But
Yeah.
once you do get to the editing process and you're editing a video like 4 to 6 hours straight to make
Yeah.
that perfect 3-minute video,
Yeah, you don't have to
it's
tell
just
me.
gonna, like, no, you
Yeah.
would know. You would know.
Yeah, it's like
You
I
do
feel
your
like
music and you do your own music video.
yeah, because the funny thing is, like, I used to really like video editing, and like I used to really enjoy it, but now because I've done so much, and then like I've done so much content that it's not that I hate it. It's becoming more of a job
Chore.
than like a passion.
Right. I can.
But like
Right.
this is becoming the passion, right? Like the podcast, the music, like because I'm creating, like, but now, like I still have to do like the behind, like like
The post.
the post and then like the editing of the videos, which is not the most fun, but like I gotta do it. Otherwise, like I'm gonna have to pay somebody to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And exactly why we're doing, why I was like, oh, I'll take in charge of it. It was also to help, instead of having my team member all pay a little bit, even though it's like a few more dollars. Like if there's like,
Yeah.
if all of us chip in, we could easily get like an extra editor. But I was
Right.
like, I want to save some money for the team.
Yeah.
So I put it like, I'll go ahead and edit the video, even though it takes more of my time, but like I'll do it
Right.
just to save them a couple more bucks so that they don't have to worry about that.
Hey, well,
think
good
so.
luck.
No, like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot. And they have been very wonderful. They have offered to help edit too.
Oh, that's good.
For it. But I understand that they have their own lives. So I kind of
Yeah.
I want to respect that too. And be like, I'll just do as much as I can. And then if I really need help, I'll go to you. But for now, you enjoy yourself and just worry about the dance. Like just worry getting the dance right. And I'll handle like
Right.
behind the scenes kind
Well,
of thing.
this is gonna be a good segment for today's topic, which is leadership.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Leadership.
Yes, because like you said, like you're kind of taking the lead in your team
Right.
and like taking control of like what needs to be done. So, I guess you wanna like share like your experience in like leading.
Right. I'm so curious too because
a group.
you lead I guess photographer lot in the world. I'm a dancer world and you have
Yeah.
to lead yourself.
Yeah, and I feel like
so
I feel like there's I don't know if misconception is the right word, but leadership can be like different things, right?
Right.
Like you can lead an entire crew or a group, and then you can also lead like a like I'm taking a lead on the podcast. Like that's kind of like, it doesn't seem like, oh, is that a leadership, or but like you're taking control of the situation. So like that's still leadership.
Like
So-
for us, we're looking to you. Like
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
feeling
Right.
your energy, and and you're giving such a good, comfortable energy.
Oh,
but
thanks.
what's giving us, but to us, you're leading it, and
Yeah.
so we're like focused on you, and like, okay, wherever you go, we're gonna ride with you. Kind of thing. So wherever you turn, we're gonna turn with you.
I got you. I'll turn this everywhere I want to turn.
And we're gonna take it.
But anyways, what's your experience and just, I guess,
It's now recent years, I feel like I understand more so what my role is as a leader in my
Yeah.
team. I will say beginning what Luminescence my dancing, by the way.
Okay.
Luminescent my dance. When beginning Luminescent, I was voted as leader. So it wasn't more so like
it wasn't a
I-
choice.
Yeah, sometimes I always think back, like, I wonder what would happen if I was like, no, don't do me, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But they felt, since I was the one that brought them all together, that, okay, Sean, you be the leader. But I had no, like, actual leadership skills. Like, I was at the time a cashier at Walgreens out of high school. I got out from a previous team being led from. And
Right.
now I'm here being told, like, oh, you should be the next leader. You should
Right.
be the leader of the team. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I more so went with I thought we treated more as a club when we first started. And so that's I had like my club leadership mindset. But
Where everybody
sometimes
has to say.
everyone has a say, yes. And I still try to keep that no matter what. I do want to say,
Yeah,
like, if you're
of
in
course.
my team, if you're in our team, we all have a say,
Yeah.
despite what kind of leadership or whatnot.
Yeah.
But when we first started, like, though I was also leading other clubs in high school, it was different because I never thought about the financial things. I never thought making schedules and stuff like that, because usually the advisor that hosts the club has that all set.
Right.
Back in high school. So coming to more of a mature mindset of like, oh shoot, they need organization. We need calendars. We need someone to teach. We need an actual timestamp of when this is going to be happening. We need a goal. Like, this can't be like, oh, we're going to do this and not
Yeah.
actually have an end goal.
Right.
Like, we needed something to actually have the definitive person be like, we are going to do this kind of thing, rather than always being up in the air. We were saying, like, instead of it being up in the air, who's going to be the person to grab that idea from the air and put it into reality?
Right.
Yeah.
And it happened to be me. Like, at that moment, it happened to be me. It was very tough because I do feel like I tried my best to put in everyone's thoughts and mindset, but because I kept trying to work with every single person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gets
nothing
difficult.
got done. And me still also coming to a position that I had no clue about really
Right.
what to do. It was very stressful at first because I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, I don't know if I'm doing right. We had people like wanting to leave the team at first. We had people wanting to be like, oh no, you got this. And I'll just never forget that they're my best friends. Their name is Nicole. Am I allowed to say people's names?
If you want.
Okay, I was like, oh gosh, like, we're gonna tag them into this.
I don't care. I mean, you can name drop.
We're name dropping you too. So my best friends, Nicole and Lonnie, I'll never forget driving back from home one night. I was crying because I was driving home because I was just so frustrated. Like, why aren't we doing good? Like, why am I doing wrong? And stuff. Like, everyone here
You're questioning your leadership?
questioning a lot. Yes, of like, why did you guys put me into something? And then yet it felt like whatever I did is always wrong, and it always fell back on me. And I always felt guilty of like, oh, like, these are people putting their time towards me, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll never forget, like, driving the car, taking them home because they couldn't drive yet. And they're like, Sean, you got to remember that we chose you because out of everyone here, we believe in you. And the only problem is right now is that you just don't believe in yourself. And that's why you're having all this self-doubt, because you are second guessing yourself when we're here following you, believing
Yeah.
that you have the good intentions
Right.
for us. And they want me to believe in my intentions, and that's how it skyrocketed. From there, like, so it went from like acting like it was a club to being like, okay, we need to get this done.
Right.
So this is now what we're going to do. Like, actually have expectations. The biggest thing, I don't know about you guys, but the biggest thing I always have trouble, and it still hurt. Now I'm better at it, but the biggest thing that still hurts sometimes is when you need to separate them being your friend and
Yes.
family
Yeah.
and to what they're in there for. So in this case for me, like, I need to separate I'll just name drop someone. We're gonna separate Cruz McCrae, my other best friend. He is one of my best guy friends in the team, but I also need to know that he's also part of Luminescent and he's a dancer. So I need to hold him to the expectations I would have on everyone else. And he cannot, like, if he does something wrong, I can't just be like, oh, I'll let
you're
it
my
go.
friend, whatever. Yeah.
Like, it's not fair for those that are doing it right.
Right.
And then I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong,
Right.
but a good example of like that. So that was just really hard part, was just really separating like who I am as Shawnee, the leader of Luminescent, and who I am as a person, because I'm very like
Right.
lovey-dovey and stuff like that. So it's always a big switch for me to become someone that I never thought I had to be, because I've always felt like I've been led with, I've been
Right.
I've been following rather.
Yeah.
And then having to be that person with them, because now I'm like, okay, do they get away with it? Do I be more strict on them? Am I being too strict on them? Am I being too mean? It's like trying to find that balance of like, of when to know like when you're going too much or when you're doing nothing.
Right.
Because I also want them to grow. I want them to feel like being in the team is worth it and they're getting something out of it. But of also letting them do all the little mini stuff, getting away with it, I feel like I'm also doing a
Right.
deteriorating thing for them, because I'm making them feel like it's okay to not put this
Right.
as priority
Yeah, exactly.
when they should put that more.
And
I think. Oh, go ahead.
oh, well, I just want to say this real quick, because like I remember telling you about the topic, and then you were kind of iffy about it because like you said it was a sensitive topic, because like obviously being a good leader, it's like a hard job. So it's like I get why you were kind of hesitant about it, but then this is the type of conversation that we should be having, because it's like, yes, you want everybody to succeed and you want everybody to feel good, but then it's like sometimes if things are not getting done, like, hey, like you gotta call people out, it's like you just have to.
And I think it's less about calling people out. I think it's more about accountability.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So I live in two worlds where leadership does take a large portion of my day. So I'm an actual manager in my 9 to 5. And then I also own the business with my husband. And what I've learned is the biggest thing to help kind of alleviate that, especially when you're in close proximity to somebody or you have a relationship with them, is setting the expectations and defining your roles. So like with my husband, and I'm very easy to switch on and off. Like he knows, he would be the first person to tell you that I turn into like Felicia business person, like, at the drop of a pin, because in my mind, I'm like, well, this is business, right? And so if we want to be successful, we have to look at it from a business perspective.
Yep.
Like, I love you at home, I love you here, but we're trying to better ourselves and trying to achieve something. So when I'm dealing with people that are particularly my friends, is I always over communicate. And I always set the expectations like, hey,
Nice.
this is the expectations that I have for the entire team, right? It doesn't matter if you're my friend, if you're new, if we're sleeping at home together, like everybody's going to have the same, advantage, right? We're all on the same playing field. And then just let them know also that part of helping them or keeping them accountable is you caring, right? Because for some reason, I always have an easier time like leading and I guess in a sense like calling people out, that people that are close to me, because I care about them. So I'm like, no, we're not going to do this. Like, I want to see them thrive. I want to see them grow. But if it's somebody that's new, it's like I feel a little bit less invested.
And I feel like it's because like them, so I feel like you expect more from them in a way, because like you obviously want them to succeed. So like if you don't really know the person, I'm just like, well,
yeah,
who cares, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also like I'm trying to to me that button can go on and off, but to me it's also trying to help teach them when they also need to turn on and off that button.
Yeah.
Understand, like if I'm getting on to you, it's not personal.
Right,
it's
right,
like this is
exactly.
again, like understand, like we're a team, we're here to get things done, we're here to film, we have due dates. Like it's whether or not we decide to procrastinate or not, that due date's gonna come. And when it comes, whatever we worked on before that, that's going to reflect on that day. And my goal is for you guys to be on that due date, to feel comfortable, feel confident, feel like once you're done dancing, you feel so proud of yourself that you did something. Like you
Right.
did something amazing. And it's all because of your hard work
Yeah.
from then and there. So when
Giving
people
them
are
the
like
vision.
late to practice, of course I'm going to be like, because our team actually has a strike policy, a very lenient strike
okay.
policy. Like actually,
Lenient was
Lenient
have like
strike
5
because-
strikes.
Oh my gosh. So the way our strike and our warnings work is that before every strike, you get a warning. So technically, and we have a total of 4
so
strikes.
every strike you get a warning.
Yeah.
You have like 8
So 8?
opportunities
pretty
essentially.
much you have 8 opportunities.
Okay.
And like So to me, it's like if you're hitting like the 6 to 8 like opportunity, then something needs to change because
Yeah.
to me, no one should be getting reached that point, especially since you get a warning and then a strike and you get told what's going on. Like we even give advice of like how to improve it and what not to do again. So of course, if you do it again, things, to me, it's
Right.
like, well, it's also like the way we do it too is like one of us for the warning, the first strike, myself personally will be the one to straightforward tell the person via like we also use a communication app called Band, and so we'll DM them, be like, hey, like letting you know, like this is what happened, this is what you did, just don't do it again. Here's your first warning,
Right.
and then it goes to the strike. The next strike and warning. All leadership. So there's 8 of us in leadership, other than myself.
Oh, okay.
So we
you're
have
not
like,
the only one.
No, so I'm the leader, and then we have a business portion of Luminescent leadership, and then we have the dance portion of Luminescent.
Oh, wow.
So there's about 8 of us right now. Might be 9 soon, just because of how much we've grown. So it's like it's getting a lot. So the way it goes is that then the leaders of each portion of the leadership will then we go confront them together, and they do get like kind of recalls because if you reach the 3rd strike, we either remove you from a current dance they're in or we prevent them from doing a future project.
Oh, okay.
But that just depends on the choreography because I obviously like if someone's already in the dance, 75% done with the dance, me removing them if they reach that 3rd strike could be more detrimental to the team than a punishment just to them.
Right.
And again, it's not really, we're not trying to punish them. We're just trying to let them know, like, if you
There's
don't pull
consequences.
yourself, if you don't pull yourself as a member and everyone else is pulling yourself as a member, there's going to be
Right.
consequences for it. So if they're too much in the dance, we just prevent, when their new project comes along, we just prevent them from doing an additional dance that they could have done if they were not having the strike.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lenient, like when I say lenient, I mean like there's many ways to do it, but it's like to get a strike, but it's
Right.
like we give so
giving
many
you a lot of
opportunities to like help them get to that point, which is funny because I actually have the most strikes in my so I actually now
Wow, so
Okay.
now who's
Leading by example.
I just want to let them know too. Well, I think they feel like since I'm
hey, at least
usually
you're honest.
usually I'm the one initiating the strike,
Uh-huh.
but I hope I want them to know too. Like the
Hey,
rules I
like,
give to
exactly.
them, I uphold my rules too and stuff.
It's like you're not above the law.
Right. I should say I'd have the most, but it is kind of funny that I do have even a couple on my profile. And my
That's funny.
secretary, like my secretaries and the next people under me would usually give it to me. So yeah.
Wow.
And we do give opportunities to also remove that too. So we do give them like extra stuff. Like if they want to get that off from their like kind of profile, we do give them opportunities to kind of
Okay.
remove it. So that way, kind of cleans their slate.
Right.
Yeah,
Things
that's such an interesting kind of because it's very structured. I feel like I've never been in that position where it's like it's a big team and it's like it's always been just very small projects. Like for example, the podcast. I basically text everybody like, oh, I basically schedule, right? So I text the guest and then I text whoever the co-host is. So it's like it's not like I'm like I have to like talk to everybody all the time. It's just
Right,
like,
right.
hey, do you want to do a podcast this day and blah blah blah. And so it's not very complicated in that way. And then when it comes to music, I kind of always just taking the lead because I'm the one making the music and I just collaborate with people. And then if I have ideas, I usually let them kind of do whatever they want in a way. Like, hey, just feel rap on this verse and you can say whatever you want, basically. But then if I hear something that I'm like, oh, maybe you can do it better this way and blah, blah, blah. Like I take lead that way, but I've never had such a structured, big kind of, I guess, in a manager
Like an
position.
operation,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like a very interesting way of looking at it. I'm like, oh, like that's kind of interesting. I mean, like maybe eventually we'll get to that. Like, I don't know, when the podcast gets big, like if I have to hire people,
Right.
and like that might become a little bit more like, hey, like things need to get done this
Right.
way, because like now it's very, very lax. So like, it's like, hey, can you make it this day? Like, if not, somebody can sub in and blah blah
Right.
blah. But when it comes to like, if it really becomes big, then it needs to become like a more like automated in a way.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be a challenge.
I'm looking forward for that too.
Yeah.
This is
That'll be great. I can't be late anymore.
Me too.
But then, like, when you get, the thing is, when it gets to that point, then like everybody needs to get paid. So
Yeah.
it's not like
Right.
you know, like you can't just
Right.
Yeah. So
So I do have a question. So when you say that if something happens, they get a strike, what necessarily would you get a strike for? Because then my mind starts thinking in terms of like, okay, so I'm curious what happens next because I'm very big on development.
Right.
So I'm like, I just want to make sure.
Like, how would they receive one? Like,
Right.
how-
Well, not even how they receive one. So it's like if you get something like a strike and it was for something, right? And it happens again. So that means it wasn't corrected. So they're still challenged by that for whatever reason. So as a leader, someone in leadership, my mind always goes to, okay, what can I do to help this person to make sure that doesn't occur to them again? So I'm just curious to know, is it something that is self-inflicted or something that you can actually help them with? You
for
know?
sure help them with, as in I would give tips and advices for it. So if those who are late, first I want to make sure I do ask, like, why are you late? Like, to me it's like, maybe because I also want to put in my perspective, like, maybe I'm putting the practice times on times that they can't come in.
Right,
So
right.
I want to go over, like, so before that, because even getting strikes is not just for them to learn, it's also for me to learn, to find ways to also make it easier for them, to also assist for them not to get a strike again.
Right.
If it is like something that I'm doing wrong or something with leadership's doing wrong. So like, for example, like them getting if they were late, for example, if they were late, at first it would be like, okay, like, why are you late? Like, and some people are like, oh, we rely, because they have peers, people who can't drive. And so if they're reliant on people driving them, to me, it's
Right.
like, it's not their fault that
yeah.
they're either their parents or their best friends running late themselves. And so I don't hold it to them. But if it is a consistent thing, like, to me, it's like, you already know, like,
Right.
if they tell me that they can make the time though, so only if they told me they can make this time and it's being like a consecutive thing, I do ask, like, okay, what's going on? Like, you can tell us, like, they can
Right.
really tell us anything and be like, what's going on and stuff like that. But if it's something where I feel like either they're not putting the effort into it, then we will tell them, like, this is how it should be. Like,
Right.
you know that
Absolutely.
practice time is on this time. If you need a ride, you do have a leadership chat that you can easily ask, like, any one of us. And we always have said we are all more than happy to get a ride. And if you can't receive a ride from us, then to us, that's our fault. Like, I'm not going to give
Right,
you
right.
a point because we couldn't give you a ride for it. But we always try to figure out, like, if this is what's going on, what can on the other side of things do to help them better that? So specifically for people that are late, we came up with we downloaded a new app called Time Tree, where everyone has to put their schedules in, like, especially during our practice times.
Oh, wow.
So I require them to put it on a Saturday and Sunday, because that's when we practice, Saturdays and Sundays. And that's how I now create the calendar, because now to me I'm creating a calendar based on your schedule.
Right. That it works
So
for everybody. Wow.
yeah, so if you're gonna be late on a practice time where I already work with your schedule,
Right.
then there needs to be another talk and stuff like that.
Interesting.
But then things like that happen, stuff, and it gets difficult. Like, I know I can't accommodate, so like, there's about 24 of us in the team, so I have
Yeah,
to work
that's
with
very hard to like,
all 24, yeah, including myself too, and coordinate all 24 dancers
Yeah.
on a Saturday and a Sunday. So of course, if we had more practice days, it'd be even better. But I try to keep on the weekend too, because I understand, like, their weekdays are to themselves. I want
Right.
them to have it to themselves, either for school, work, things that. And then when it comes to the weekend, they could be more excited for dance. But I do try my best, like in the Time Tree app, when it comes to people that are late, to work with their schedule on there. And I know, like, if someone's gonna be late, usually I already knew they were gonna be late, because I saw
Right.
it already on the Time Tree of, like, oh, hey, I know you don't get off work till 2:30, but because we should be starting at 2, most likely I'm gonna keep it at 2, but they're not gonna get a ding for it just because
Right.
of that.
And if they've sort of
But
been
we
communicating.
always, it's never going to be like, oh, here's a strike. We're always going to be like, okay, this is why you got it. This is how what can we do to help assist with it?
Right.
And if it's not us, these are some advice that maybe will help you prevent you from getting the next strike and stuff like that.
hey, that's really
'Cause
good.
We don't
I
want to
like
just,
that.
because
Yeah.
it's like, they're not going to know. Like, I'm not
Right.
addicting of like, oh, you did this wrong. But like,
Yeah.
what's the why though? Like, why is it wrong? What happened? Those other questions and stuff. So we really want to be communicative, like, this is why you got it, and what can we do to help prevent it? Or what can you do on your side to also help prevent it? So it's kind of an equal.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's all about communication. Just make sure
Big.
you communicate with people properly.
Right.
and people just need to be like,
transparent.
yeah, transparent.
I really appreciate transparency.
Yeah.
Like I will always prioritize someone being completely honest than someone trying to tell a lie.
Or an excuse.
Yes, or an excuse. And I don't know why that is. I've been like that with everybody, like even within my relationship.
I feel like that's how
Just
it should
give me
be.
the truth.
Like for every
And I'm like, why is it
relationships
so-
you have.
But
yeah.
I think it's so uncommon that when I express that, it's very difficult for other people to think that I'm being truthful in
Yeah.
in that perspective. And I'm like, no, really. Like if you tell me, that's all I need to know, and like, and I'll drop it. It'll be in the back of my mind. But like, I just need to know the honest answer.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that's very difficult for people to do. I'm assuming because of other instances where maybe, you know, they were chastised or something horrible had happened afterwards. But I'm like, just tell me the truth, bro. I'm asking you. And part of me asking for the truth is because I already know.
Right.
I'm just going to say that. If I'm asking you, it's because I know. I already know.
Like, yeah, that's typically what it is too. It's like, oh, why are you late? Well, because I already know what the answer is.
Yeah.
But I want to hear you say it.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give that honest, like if you can tell me the truth when I already know the truth,
Yeah.
then I know you're going to be a truthful person.
Yeah, exactly. So with this, I'm just curious because it's so interesting to hear about like this type of structure outside of like, because my head thinks very corporate, right? I think about like our business and having structure, but I don't have a big enough team to like implement things that you're implementing. So like the strike system that you have, like who developed that, and then how you have the warning and then the strike each time. Do you think that you'll continue that, or do you think that just does more harm than good?
That's such a good question. So, okay, I always call
It's like it's 8 strikes, too many
Well,
strikes.
because then it's like at that, in my mind, I'm like, you might as well say you have 8 strikes, or I feel like there's some people that are like, well, I know I'm gonna get a warning before I get this strike.
That's
I always
true.
think that.
You know,
I
and
always
that's
think
true.
that
horrible,
too.
and I hate
I
to think
always.
people are like that, but I'm like, there's always people that are
Hey.
like that.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna say who. I'm not. No one who. I'm so sorry.
drop,
I
name
don't
drop.
Name
know
drop,
anyone.
name drop.
There actually is not anyone, but I
But
bet
myself.
I could see people. So I call it the dark ages. So back in Luminescent, again, the
ages.
dark ages of Luminescent was the most stressful times because again, we didn't know why. We all knew we loved to dance, but we didn't know what we wanted to do with it. Like we were just there. And so actually, to go back on the strike, I guess I should say is that Luminescent has a contract system. So it's part of the contract to be part of it. So the strike are based of everything we go over front to front with them on the contract and things like that. So they're not like they're not like
Not a
live.
surprise.
Yeah, they know what we expect. So that's all in the contract. They know what they expect. They know their limits. They know every stuff like that. So the strike system was made because actually it is based on people being late. It's just that everyone else will get there, and it's always like every one other person. We would all get there at times, but the thing is when someone's like even like 15 to 20 minutes late, we're now having to do that additional time they were late to catch them up. And it's just that we pay per hour. Like no matter what studio I was at, we always paid per hour.
Right.
And so we wanted to utilize the full funds that we're putting into it because we all split the studio. So the way I do it, I pay. So in the total, I myself will put like 30% of myself to pay the full, and then that 70%, I have my team split that 70%. And I also split with the 70%.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm also like added. I'm double dipping the payment. I'll pay this half, and I'm also gonna help pay your guys's your half
Right.
too. And so we just want to make sure that we were utilizing the time efficiently. And so, and big thing was disrespect. We were a team that believed everyone and anyone can dance. And so we didn't want people coming in feeling like they can one up one another because that's who we were not. And we want to also have our dancers understand, like the people who are choreographing, they're taking their time on their weekdays and stuff to help create something for us to learn on the weekend.
Right.
And I don't think people just understood that. They just want to see the dance, but they don't understand the things that go behind to even create that
Yeah.
dance. And so the strike policy was that we were just so sick of it. Me and Janine, I don't know her name dropped already. Me and Janine, and at the time, Nicole, we were just kind of sick of people feeling like if we're gonna put all of our, it's just more of like, what is that word? Like, we are gonna put all of our time and effort into it. If we're a team, we also want you guys to put the same
Right.
time
Yeah.
and effort.
Commitment.
Yeah, and we just wanted them to show as much like interest. Not, I don't know, I'm missing the word, guys. There's a word.
Passion?
Yes, we want to show them. So like, we want to see their passion into the team as much as we show our passion into the team. And so surprisingly, I know we have a strike policy, but to be honest, like, I want to say it works because barely anyone gets a strike.
Oh, nice.
And then, you know,
Aside from you,
than the
aside from the
creator.
leader.
out of 24 of us right now, I can only think like maybe just 6 of us max that has a strike, maybe
Okay.
even 5. Back then, and then because we also like back then we were giving strikes like candy because we also it was a learning. That's was the dark ages.
Yeah, we're just like strike for everybody.
Yeah, because it was a dark age, and I think the reason we came with the warning idea because we did in a way felt bad that instead of us trying to see from their perspective on why something's going wrong, we were just punishing them right away.
Yeah, it became a punishment. Instead
Yeah,
of,
and
like,
we didn't
learning.
want that. We
Yeah.
wanted them to like, to us, it made sense. Like, yeah, strike because you're late. But then to me, it's like, okay, I also did not know about your car getting stuck in the snow,
Right.
until before I gave you the strike. And so we're always like adding, removing. And so to make it more of a cleaner profile, we're like, okay, why not we do a warning first? Because that way we get from their perspective what's going on, and then after because the warning, that first warning is really for us to understand why they're getting that warning, like why are they either disrespecting, why are they coming in negative, why are they
Right.
late, and then from there, because then if it's us, we're like, okay, you know what, you were still late, but maybe this is what we can do to help you,
Right.
and then vice versa. So that's where it came, because we were giving it like candy, and like before we were passing it those dollar bills from Lisa money, we were passing that. But yeah, and sometimes actually we weren't even passing. There were times where we felt like we were too lenient, too scared to even give strikes to our own team, and so the warning actually also helped us kind of get
So it's
comfortable.
like it's not as serious.
Yeah, it's not as serious. We were also like, we didn't want them, like, because I think the moment we hear like strike, people like, even the word strike, like that sound is already scary. But when you
Yeah.
start with a W, like warning, you know, it's a lot more lenient and a lot more soft-hearted, and it's, you know, it's just an opportunity for both of us to understand where we're coming from instead of us already being straightforward to it. And then again, it helped us leadership too to like softly prepare someone, like, hey, do it again, you know what's coming, instead of us being like, bam,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Hey, that's,
But yeah.
I like that actually. That's,
Leadership made that because
Hey.
the dark ages, like the dark ages of the team, we call it. Like, I don't think my current team will understand like those times where that's why no matter what many things they may stress about, to me it's like it's nothing because
You're
we've
like-
been through a lot. The
Yeah.
OG members like really paved what we got now.
Wow.
Things like that.
And so, how many years has your team been together?
7 years now. So 7
Damn.
years last month, and so
awesome.
Congratulations.
Again, thank
that's,
you.
That's a long
That's
time.
We
Yeah, that's
appreciate
really
like
good.
we just held our first big showcase at the Reno Public Market this year.
Oh, okay.
And we were just, when I was making my speech, it just made me think like I remember when the OG members, like me and Gen 1 members, when we created the team, we were already thinking long terms, like we want us to perform big, we want to get known in Reno, we want to do competitions. So when I was doing on that stage, you know, on this speaking,
Right.
I get just, and some of my OG members were there sitting there too watching, which really touched me because it's like, wow, like we really, this is what we said we want to do. And now we're doing it. Like we're now on this stage performing in front of like a lot of people in Reno Sparks. Now we're getting like other businesses like Num Num Boba to like kind of recognize and like be with us too.
Oh, cool.
We're growing. And the thing is, we're growing. We went from 12 people and then now we're like hitting 24, about to hit 30, depending on how well we do.
Jeez.
And it's just
job.
something, yeah, thank you. It's just, I could not have done it for sure myself. Like, this
Right.
was just an idea. And like, that's why even my OG members, even my current members, I always tell them, like, you know, still respect the OG members. That no matter what level dance they are, you may be a better dancer, you may not, you know.
Right.
But to us, it was never like that. Like,
Right.
they put in their own time and sweat to help
Yeah.
create what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm also really big on respect because to me, it's like they were with me on day one, trying to help me, you know, and the team get to where we're at now.
Right.
And now the OG, you know, the current members now gets to enjoy easily, like, oh, next
Yeah.
showcase, oh, a
Mm-hmm.
new competitions, you know. But back then we were struggling to find that. We're struggling for people to even want us to perform.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, because
stuff.
that's interesting because like when new people come into like a already established kind of thing, it's so much easier
Yeah.
because you don't have to deal with all the learning and like,
Right.
you know, like you just go in and be like, everything is already organized, everything is already kind of optimized in a way.
Right.
So everybody's just kind of like, oh, this is not that hard. But then for the people that actually built the thing, it's like,
Right.
dude, we struggled.
Yeah, no matter what, like, no matter what generation we're in, like, I can always think, like, we're always just smiling, having fun. And that's what I love is that no matter what, whether we had nothing and now we may have more than what we have now, like, the vibe of the team has been consistent from what I established back in 2017. Like, I would say we were in a club mindset, and then 3 to 4 years later, we're like, no, we want to go big. We want to make this a business. So our, like, goal for the team did change, but the people in the team are still like loving people. Like, I'm so blessed to have who I am now, who I have in the team, because I don't know, they're all introverts, by the way. Like, I'm like one of the few extroverted.
I feel like a lot of artists are actually.
Yeah, I'm super
Right,
introverted.
and so it's just funny because like I'm all like, oh yeah, let's give me a hug, and everyone's like all introverted in their corners. I'm glad we all get along though, which is amazing. But I'm just so blessed to have people that want to put time, want to put commitment, are understanding and stuff like that. Because I would not be here without my team. Like, and I feel like the leader is only good with their team. I never understood what that meant, but like when I was like making a speech, I think a year ago, and I look behind me and I see my team behind me, and it was like, that's what it means. Like, I can only be right here, right now. Yes, it is a very stressful position, but they make it worth it to go through the stress.
Yeah.
To make it happen.
Yeah,
for
because
them.
everybody's looking at you. Like, what are we gonna do now? You know.
Right,
So like, you
right.
actually have to have answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other stressful part. I feel like maybe on your side, guys, too, is just the answer part.
Yeah.
Always feeling like you need to have an answer,
Right.
whether or not you have the answer. They want guidance and
Right.
need an answer. And sometimes I feel like I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I will do my best. Like, I'll make the best choice, but I don't know if it's the right choice.
Yeah, because that's the thing is because I've done both, right? So I've led and I've also kind of followed like people's project, and it's such a different, because when you're leading, you can't, I guess in a way you can't slack off. When you're just following, I'm just like, well, if they don't want to do it today, I'm like, I'm cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
it's like you can relax and just kind of
Right.
wait for, I guess, guidance.
Right.
But if you're a leader, you're just like, you have to be on point all the time, like because like everybody's looking at you, like, what are we gonna do now? Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like it's such an interesting dynamic because like it's so much. I feel like it's so much easier to just follow than becoming like an actual like leader and lead a project or a team.
And sometimes I want to feel that again. I want to feel the follow.
I have a little bit. I don't disagree. I do agree that as a leader, you know, since you're the forefront, a lot of
Yeah.
people are looking to you. But I do think there's a little misconception with being a leader, and then also humanizing the fact that the person who is leading is still a person.
That is, I
Right.
mean, yeah.
And I think that's where people need to understand that as the leader, like being in a leadership position, it's okay to make mistakes. And that's why I honor transparency, because I will be the first to admit I screwed up, and we're going to know together as a team that we screwed up, you know, but I won't allow that screw up to have them lose confidence based on how I act after that took place.
Right.
You know, and I think it's like and the reason why I say that, because I feel like a lot of people who are in leadership positions always also try to strive for that perfectionism, and sometimes that's not realistic. And when you try to achieve something that's perfection, you're always going to be disappointed at some point.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want that to happen, because you should be proud of where you're at and what you're doing for people, because it's not easy to lead people. People can't even lead themselves. You know what I mean? So to have to like lead one other person, 20 other people, 24 people, you know, like that's a huge task to take on and a huge responsibility. So I think also humanizing that role is also very empowering, because then they can look at you and be like, oh, so he makes mistakes too, or oh, like, but he did this and he got better and he moved on from that. You know what I mean? I
Right,
feel like sometimes
right.
people can really relate to that, because like looking to somebody that you're aspiring to, sometimes that's really anxious, like anxiety inducing to think that, oh, they're so perfect, I'm never gonna be that. And it's like, no, bro, like I'm the worst probably. It's just how you carry yourself and how you react to those very like challenging moments too, I think is important.
Yeah, and I think that's why I kind of I guess, I don't know if like represent is the right word, but like I'm always so kind of nonchalant about things.
Yeah, he's very much like, fuck you.
Yeah, like I just kind of like whatever things.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably why everybody's so comfortable around me, is because like I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, that's what it is. Give a fuck you.
But it's because it's like, yes, like you're right. Like, yes, I lead, but then I'm like, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I like, like sometimes I'm late. Like, you know what I mean? Like things like that. It's just like, I don't have to be like super like,
You're not a robot.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
a robot. So like, I like to just be like, this is gonna be a chill environment. It's collaborative. Even though I'm leading the thing, like it's still collaborative. So like, I want you to feel comfortable, especially with like music too, because like it's so important to like have good vibes in the studio. So it's easier to just kind of like, even though yes, I'm pretty much do most of the work, like I still want everybody to feel like, they're good in like they're contributing.
Right.
So yeah, that's why when I'm leading, like that's why like I'm so curious, like if it gets to that point where it's so big that like I can't relax anymore. I don't know if like that's the thing.
That is now.
Like it needs to be like super structured, right? Like because
But that's when I think when you get to a point where you've grown so much, where
Yeah.
you feel like you have all this pressure, that's when you start. I don't want to say delegating because I don't think that's the right word, but
I
that's
think
when
that
that's
might
when
be
you
the-
start kind of like relying on the people that
Yeah.
are that next level of leadership,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so like my mentality when I work for somebody is like, it's my job to make my boss's life easier, but it's also
Yeah.
my job to make my team's life easier,
Right.
right? So you're kind of all trying to balance that out so that
Mm-hmm.
no one feels that extra weight. And regardless, sometimes depend on the type of person you are. Like I'm that type of person, like no matter how many people say they're gonna help me, I always feel like I'm the last person. Like I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like it's me, it's on me. And it's like, no, Felicia, like we're all gonna do it. I'm like, no.
Right.
So I think it's also like a personality trait, but I think as long as you can recognize when you're in those moments and you
Yeah.
have a solid team and people that you can also rely on, I think that really, really helps that situation, because it's not fun to be in that or to be stuck in that.
Yeah.
And then when you have no one to turn to, so it's nice to hear that you're like, oh, I'm the leader, but then you have kind of like your
Yeah.
other set of leaderships that also lead the teams, so if you're having an off day, then that's when you're transparent to your team, like, hey guys, kind of off today, so I really need you guys to step up and blah 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 blah. So I think having like the different levels and the different responsibilities and just kind of having that like really close community
Right.
within your team is really good.
And I'm glad you also mentioned that, because what my big thing I'm struggling on is that relying and delegating part.
Yeah.
Because throughout my year, because I've always currently Luminescent only had the one leader, which
Right,
is
right.
myself. So my co-leaders have changed, my secretaries have changed throughout the years, but it's always just been me as that one person. And throughout, like, I would never forget where I guess I delegated too much, so people were then saying like, "Oh, Sean does nothing. He's just there. He's doing nothing." And then there was one time where I pulled back, and people are like, "Okay," because then I'm stressing. They're like, "Sean, you need to rely on us more." And then when I rely on you more,
Right.
and then it doesn't get done, then I'm like, "Okay, so can I rely on you? Because
Right.
I told you this time, but then you chose not to communicate and do that time."
yeah.
And so I'm always in this roller coaster, because I guess last year, towards my secretary, I guess what kind of hurt was like, it wasn't even like the team feeling it. It was outside people's views, thinking that I overworked, which I do think I did. I had her carry like a whole like 15 to 16 pound table upstairs one time for a competition. Like, I feel bad for even doing that. But, like, I know, different. But I felt like ever since like there were comments now, and I felt like, okay, so I don't want my team to feel like they're not doing anything. So instead of making them feel like it, if I just do it all, and now I'm back in that stage of like, I'm just going to do it all. So that way now no one can be blamed. So no one can be like, oh, this person didn't do this because they're the social media, or this person didn't do this because they're secretary. It's like, to me, it's like, I don't want also to have people in that situation to
Right.
feel that blame. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it all.
Yeah.
And just point the finger just on me. Which is, I'm not glad you said, because my team really cares. Like, they do. They are actually pressuring me as of right now to be like, what do you need to do? Like, what can I do for you? And stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like having about like being a quality leader is knowing when to trust your team,
Right.
and when to do things, like all by yourself, I guess.
And I'm trying to filter that to them.
So like you need to just like figure out like, oh, like, do I need to like really just like let them handle it?
Right.
And like, because I feel like the more you let them do that, then somebody's gonna step up.
Right.
So like, you know what I mean? So like you're teaching them how to be a leader, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
And like, I've been trying. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, I've been like slowly like, okay, here's my book. Like, I'm not gonna give you like my full binder, but why not we start with 2 pages of my binder?
Right.
See how you do with that. Then let's give you 5 pages of what I do and stuff like that. I'm trying to slowly filter without them also feeling like, oh shoot, like now,
Right.
because once I put them in it, and they signed a portion of, like, they signed a contract saying they're gonna be my secretary. I don't want them to feel like, oh shoot, now they need to be able to uphold that position perfectly,
Right.
because I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, just because I signed as a secretary, now they can't make mistakes because that's just their part
Right.
that they're doing. And so I've been trying to slowly like, okay, this is what I do. Like, I just need help on this, slowly put it to them without being like, here's my boulder. Like, here's my boulder of stuff, good luck. And then have me sit back, because I also don't want
Right.
to do that. Like, I want them to understand too, like, yes, I'll give you some of my work, but I'm not going to give you all. Like, I still also want to be able to contribute and put something
right.
into it, but also make you guys feel like they're doing something too, and have them feel like they're contributing to, which they are. And I wish they understand that. Like, so far, every showcase we do, like, we always had a member, and a lot of them would be like, oh, thank you, Shawnee. Like, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for hosting this event. Thank you for planning. I just want them to know, like, I hope they know, like, I'm only doing this because they're my reasons. Like,
Right,
they're
right.
giving me all the positive energy. They're the ones where I feel like if I do fall, they're going to pick me back up. So I'm not scared to push that limit, because I know they have me, and I
Right.
know that if it does get to that point, they're gonna pull me back. So really, most of our success is really because it's like you said too, it's a collaborative effort. And I just want them to know, like, yes, I may be the one planning, I may be the one delegating and being like, okay, we're gonna do the showcase, but really it's also them putting their time and effort to also even create the dances to even do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they need to know, like, they're also, though they may not see it a lot, but to me it's like, you're creating a dance. Like, you're about to perform and represent the team. Like, you're doing a lot
Right.
already.
Yeah.
You may
Because you're
not
just
see
as
it, but-
good as your team.
yeah, exactly. And I just want them. I sent a private message like, as much as you appreciate me, I want you to also the amount you appreciate me, make sure you look in the mirror and make sure you also appreciate yourself, because I can't do this without you.
Right.
Like, yes, you may think I can, but I can't. Like, I'm nothing without my team. But I'm glad you mentioned the whole humane thing too, because there are days where I feel like I'm not human.
Yeah.
There have been times where like with JERiCK, JERiCK actually, there have been times where I cancel stuff on you and never followed up on you, because once my priority changed, because to me, my team will always be my first priority as leader. I just feel like that has to be a priority.
Right.
I signed up to be, well, I didn't really sign up, but like, I decided to still be the leader. So I'm going to go ahead and uphold the leader position that I felt like a leader needs to do for their dance team. And so I have been like with JERiCK, like, I had this whole plan over summer, like, to plan all these personal stuff for me, and then getting it all canceled and changed because I switched my priority to my team.
Yeah.
Right.
And stuff like
I
that.
get it. you
It's
know?
just that, like, my own family, I feel so bad. Like, my friends and family, they're on scheduled basis with me. Like, you have to get on my calendar in order for us to hang out.
I even with my friends too. I'm like, I have to schedule things because
Right.
otherwise, like, we're not hanging out.
Yeah.
So it's I have to make that time, and I have to make that effort to be like, hey, we can meet like 3 weeks from now, or like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So it's like, and that's just part of being an adult too.
Right.
Like, you just don't have a lot of time for anything. So,
Right.
but what were you saying earlier?
Oh. I'm like, let me backtrack. Let me go through it in my head.
I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
Because you said so much good points.
no,
I'm
you're
like,
totally
I
fine.
want to
I love
attack
it.
each
Thank
one because I
you.
love
Thank
each one.
No, I mean, I do enjoy talking about this stuff. No, I think what I was going to say, because we were talking about delegating and when you kind of feel conflicted on how much you should give somebody else. And for me, what's always helped me, especially when it comes down to delegating or trying to like mentor somebody, is if I was gone today, and not even in a bad way, like if I couldn't come to work today, would my team be successful?
Right.
How would they perform? And if I can't confidently say yes, then that means I need to start developing other people from my team. So that way, if that does happen, they're in a good position, right? And so I feel like sometimes, especially for me, because I get so nervous about accountability and I'm like, can I trust them? I don't know. That I don't like to withhold information, but I like to do things because then I'm like, well, I know it's going to be done right. I know it's going to be done my way. But at the end of the day, that's not realistic because now somebody else is missing out on that opportunity to learn. And if you're ever in a situation, because you're never going to know when you can't show up to work, that you didn't show them how to do something, what is going to happen? You know, like how detrimental could that be to your team? And then the other part to that too is if you have people who are in this leadership position, is also having them understand like what that responsibility looks like. You know, and unfortunately we're in a world right now where it's like you're given a hat, but sometimes you might wear 3 or 4. And not to say that that's okay, right? But I always like to tell people, I'm like, you live in a world where things aren't always fair. And I always try to promote fairness, right? But in the corporate world, sometimes that's very limited. So I say, if you really are passionate about this, do it for the experience. And sometimes it's going to be hard, but you're going to really be proud of yourself if you can like achieve that or overcome that or learn that. And I feel like a lot of my growth in my career has been based off me just wanting the experience. Like if I could tell people my whole story, like I got paid shit to do a lot of things, but I am very happy at what I know now knowledge wise, because I chose to take on the extra work because I wanted to learn. And I think sometimes that's leadership and learning may not always be for somebody, and that's okay. So again, just like communicating and giving people opportunity. And if it's too much for them, just say, hey, you know, but this is the reality, right? Because imagine you being a leader, right? You say you try to take all of that on. So if it was them, would they do that? Would they take all of it on? So it's just kind of helping, I don't know, helping put people in certain situations. But being transparent about it.
Damn.
You know?
And also like, because actually it's funny when you say that too, because I do plan on taking a break soon. It's gonna be quite a big break too. Like this might be my first official like, hey guys, like.
Right.
I mean, it's 7 years, so.
Oh my gosh.
Once I took a few mental breaks, but I think this is the first time where like I'm letting the team be active while I'm gone. So
and you're not gonna think about work.
No,
not think about the team.
They are well aware that's my goal.
Okay.
And because I told them, like, especially what you said, is I'm at the point where like I feel like if I was gone, like you guys can hold your own.
There you go.
Like, yes, there's still stuff I
Done
haven't
your job.
taught. I still need to teach them a lot.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I still need to because to me it's like I handle the financials, I do the calendar, I do like the private messages for each person. So of course there are things, but I told them like I don't want this. Like what I give you guys for leadership, so say I told them like when I give this to you guys, like when I'm ready to train you guys, it's coming soon for them. They're coming soon. When I give it to you guys, I don't want you guys feeling like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like I want you guys to collectively work together to work on this stress because it is an easy job. Like it's not easy. And then find the person you feel like better fits it, and then have them do it that way. And I try to tell them too, it's like now they're gonna know it, but I don't want it to be done like. Because I understand, like, there's many ways to reach a solution. And my way isn't the only way to reach a solution. So maybe the attendance calendar is something that they may not need. It's something I would do, but maybe they don't need to do that. So it's just also me understanding, too, like, I need to understand, like, they're going to find their own ways to reach a solution. I need to respect that. Like, that's their way of reaching that way. Not my way, but just because it's 2 different ways, as long as I think the goal is still the same, then I shouldn't be, like... you did that wrong. Like, you know, it's like, it's not right for them.
Yeah.
Things like that. So,
Well,
Oh, that's perfect.
this was a really great discussion.
Yeah,
like, I
it
learned
is.
a lot.
There's more to say too.
Yeah.
I could go on about
I'm gonna tag everyone. I'm gonna tag them and be like, guys, you need to hear from my perspective real quick because we have two great people
Yeah.
that see the same image.
And make sure you know, send this to your team so everybody
I
can
will.
watch. So like, you
I'm
know,
gonna DM them.
so
What
they
would you-
know your perspective. Because I don't know if you've ever talked to them about.
I have,
that stuff,
but I just feel like, again, none of them. I don't feel like I didn't take advantage of me. I don't feel like that at all. I do feel like they truly love and appreciate me. But I do sometimes. I'm not saying all of them do that, but I do some. Even myself that forget that I am Shawnee from Luminescent, but I'm also just Shawnee.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to tell them. Our last meeting was that I want to be that Shawnee right now because I haven't been like that for 7 years. Like I've always been every day being the main choreographer too. Like when you guys get to come in Saturdays and Sundays, you're just learning the dance. But
Right.
my Monday through Fridays is preparing that dance to even be taught. And of course, it's stuff. And I have wonderful people ready to be like, Shawnee, like you. That's actually that's where I got my strikes from. Was doing too many dances. I literally got strikes for like always, constantly being. So we have a policy of being, and max is 3 dances at a time to prevent people like me, like people like you overworking. And obviously, I got 2 strikes from the same reason of you're overworking.
Oh, man.
And it's just that it always happened because there's just such new opportunities.
Yeah.
And we just had to change on some of our leadership. And so I didn't want the new leadership to be like, oh, now you're the new competition director. Now you need to perform just as good as the previous one. Or you're the new secretary. Now you need to perform. And then we had the, again, like new opportunities, like doing Num Num Boba and doing like the Reno Public Market, where it felt like I had to be in it because it's our
Right.
very first time doing it. So I wanted to set the stage for it, for the team to be able to take it off. But because of all that, you know, I still don't get I do not get the, you know, the ball pass, like, okay, that's okay. No,
Yeah.
I gave myself the second strike.
Hey.
Actually. I'm like, yeah, that's, but yeah, just overworked. I want them, like, that's why my message was like, what you guys do on your weekday, because I also go to school. I also have a full-time job. I also have
Yeah, I was
friends and
gonna ask.
family that they're on calendars for. Like, it hurts me to know. I would tell, like, specific leadership that it hurts me when my own mom that I live with still would come to my room at night sometimes just to sleep with me because she misses me.
Oh.
And to think that I live in the same household though. Like, I practice already from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and that's when she goes to work. When I get home, I go to work from US Bank. So I work at US Bank. 2 different concept, by the way. I don't know how banking and dancing goes together. It's like 2 different worlds. And then from banking, then I go to practice. And I'd like to go to the gym too to start better my fitness for dances. And then from 6 to, and that's usually from 6 to 9. And then if I'm not tired enough, because I like to also finance the team, I DoorDash for extra money. And that sometimes,
Yeah,
like, if
you
I
overworked yourself. You need another strike.
10 strikes.
10 strikes. That's too much.
The warnings.
literally kick myself out of the own team. Like, I will leave.
Be like,
But yeah, it's also like having them, like my own family. Like, to me, I guess that was that my mom, 2 things that hate me in reality that I was doing a lot was my mom. Because to me, it's like, she literally is like coming to my room at night because that's the only time she sees me because I'm not home. And when she gets home, I'm still out and about, either practicing, I'm door dashing, or it's either business, like making the calendar for all 24 of us, you know, trying to make it perfect, you know, for the month and stuff like that. And then that's like my Monday through Fridays. And then if I hang out with people, like, people don't understand, if I hang out with you, like,
this is
I made time for the
Send me your questionnaire ahead of time.
I know, right?
What are we talking about?
yeah, and it's all scheduled too. And so
Yeah.
I am sacrificing these things for Luminescent. And the things I'm sacrificing are the times and stuff that I can be with my friends and family. But again, like, that's why I have the best of both worlds, because it hurts that they're so understanding. Like, it hurts to know, like, they're okay. They're okay for me. They're okay to wait for me. They're okay
Right.
to be like, oh, we understand your base. Like, they're so understanding and loving and supporting that, to me, it makes me feel like I need to start giving that back, because like, they're always waiting for me, but it should be 50-50. Like, I should
Right.
not be always them on my calendar. Like, I should
Yeah.
be one day, like, I want to wake up one day and be like, yep, I'm gonna be right here, mom. I'll spend time with you and with my friends too. Like, there's my team, and then obviously I have my friends in the lives too. And I try my best to like kind of combine, like when we have like
Right.
special parties and stuff, kind of get them all together. But it's always difficult,
Right.
things like that. But I am blessed that they both understand.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
was
why.
gonna say that is a huge blessing.
Right. And what knocked me, the big knock was actually my knee surgery. So 2 years ago, I stupidly kicked ice that knocked my knee
Ooh.
apart. So I had to get my meniscus removed. So I was out of dance, but I will tell you, oh my God, I was about to say Shirley. Felicia. I was about to say, I'm so
Bro,
sorry.
do I look like a Shirley? My name is Felicia. Just kidding.
After Felicia.
It's okay,
After Felicia. After Felicia Clear JERiCK. But my knee surgery was actually like, people thought, like, some people felt bad, but I was enjoying that so
Because you finally got a break
much.
for the first time.
Literally, like,
bit
no
of
pun
breath.
intended, but
Oh,
I was
no.
broken. Like, I broke something. And, like, I never, like, to me, I felt like I was back in high school summer. Like, just enjoying the summer break. Like, I was waking up at my own time. I was at home 24/7. I was with my family. You know, my cousins would come over. I was with my family. I was playing all the video, because I'm a gamer too. Like, I love video games. And I'm addicted to Genshin Impact. You know, so I was getting that. I was playing Kingdom Hearts. Like, I wasn't dancing. I wasn't working at US Bank. I wasn't going to school.
Oh, so
and
you were just
I wasn't
straight up
dancing.
chilling.
Wow.
Yeah, and to me, that actually kind of was like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm missing out, because if I wasn't injured right now, I would still be going ham. Like, I need to do this, I need that. And unfortunately, because of the success that we've have gotten, I do feel like I went back into that hole, and which is why I'm like they want me to take a break, which is why they're so
Right.
supportive. Like, they truly support my 3 months. Like, I'm taking 3 months off. They truly support that, and I
Wow.
really appreciate that they're seeing it from also from my side of like, yeah, Sean, you need a break and stuff. Like, they're not being like, oh, you're the leader. Like, why are you taking a break?
Yeah.
And stuff. But no, each one of them are very loving. Like, no, you deserve this and stuff.
Right.
And I tell them to, like, if you need a break, and I do that for my team too. Like, some people take breaks every here. Not like, if you need a break, please take it. You know.
Right.
Never feel like, I always feel like, if you're coming to the studio stressed, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong, because this would be a fun, amazing experience for all of us. Like, we're all here dancers, no level, like, regardless of level, coming here to create some magic of art, of dance.
Right.
And so I want everyone to come in having fun, you know, in a smiling and positive attitude. I can't have that every day, but I try my best to get that every weekend.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was I getting on with that?
I don't know. Now you were killing it.
Oh, did you just list that?
he just got off the train.
I was like, wait, am I going to a whole different topic now? Like, why do I want that?
Well, let me just say this. Well, we appreciate you for coming, because
You got on my calendar, Jer. I appreciate you.
After your schedule.
thanks for penciling me into your crazy schedule.
And I thought that too, because I made like early spring, I gave you these things like, oh, we're gonna film this. We're
Yeah,
gonna do
yeah.
the photos. I wanted you to do it, and then next thing you know, like, I guess why I felt bad most too is that I kind of just dropped. Like, I didn't really say why I couldn't do anymore. I just
Yeah.
kind of went back to like, oh, dance team back
Yeah.
focus now, and now I'm like so focused I forgot to.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like, I totally understand. I mean, people just, like, drop, I guess. I'd be like, well, life's life, you know?
Right.
People got shit to do. People got, other
Yeah.
things to take care of, so.
But yeah, but when I
get
saw
it.
you at the performance and you invited for the podcast, I'm like, I gotta this time, Sean. Like, I don't care. This has to happen for JERiCK. Like, it can be doing like a sushi. It can be even making music. Like, watching you make music was like, I'm gonna finally spend time with JERiCK.
Whatever you want to do, Jack.
Yeah, whatever you
I'll
want to
be
do,
in
I'm
your
gonna
room
do
while you
it.
sleep.
Like, let me do it for you, because I want, I appreciate your time too. I don't want to feel
Yeah,
like
of
I'm
course.
also taking advantage of, like, I don't want you to feel like I can just contact you whenever I want and be like,
Yeah.
be free, do not be free. Like, that's not how I work. But I felt like at that instant, that's what I did. So I'm like, fudge.
Nah, you're
As a
good.
person, I didn't want you to feel that. So I'm like, I'm gonna make it today. Cancel, you know?
Well, that was really great. I enjoyed that
good.
conversation.
Yeah, me too.
No,
Yeah.
I actually got a little bit, a little bit light, like a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
Because there's not
You
so
sounded
much.
very comfortable talking to.
Yeah,
Thank
honestly, you did great.
Especially from people who can see from my perspective too, because it's really hard to also like complain or like vent to your team. Cause
Yeah,
I'm,
because
like,
you're the leader, so like you
right, and like I always want to be the person with the positive. Like, I'm the
Yeah,
one. I'm the first
absolutely.
smile that they'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like, oh, if I'm going through stress, like I don't want them to have that negative energy, and then all of us
Yeah.
are now feeling that.
Right.
So I try my best to have that positive
Be an
energy.
energy vampire.
Yeah,
Right.
because like as a leader, you have to set that standard. Like we
Right.
need good vibes, then I have to set the good vibes.
Right.
But yeah, well, before we end the podcast, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out? Anybody? Even you, Felicia? If you
Let's
want.
start
Well, I just have one thing I just wanted to close out the
Okay.
topic. Because I'm listening to you and how busy you are. And I'm like, in my mind, because I also feel very busy, but I feel like you're doing a lot better at being busy than I am right now.
Is that really a good thing? Like, who's busier?
But what I wanted to say is, because obviously you had a moment of acknowledgement where you said, you know, I was injured, but you enjoyed the time because you kind of had time to breathe.
Right.
So just in your life of busyness right now, right? I assume you don't want to be that busy for the rest of your life.
No.
I would hope.
I do
right?
not.
Some people like that, so that's why I ask. But just, you know, maybe make it a goal for yourself to eliminate one of those things, right? So obviously you do the finances, so you do DoorDash as like extra way to help, right? So it's like, what can you and your team do to kind of make up for that time that you're DoorDashing, right? Or even like, what is the next level for your team? So that way maybe you don't got to work a full-time job and you can work part-time.
Right.
Like always trying to think of ways to give yourself that time back. Granted, it's going to take a lot of time. I mean, mind you, like I'm in it, you're in it. You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to hopefully get into a world where this is all I do is the studio
Yeah.
and photography, you know? But right now I still work my 9 to 5, but I'm always in the back of my head, at least trying to figure out what does that path look like to get to that ultimate, I don't want to say freedom, but I guess path of passion.
Yeah, because like
Right.
if you, because that's where we're all kind of striving for, right? To just like do the passion full time and make that as our career, and we're all working towards that. So like, yeah,
Yeah, so next year I'm gonna ask you both. You're not door dashing, you're not door dashing, or whatever you do.
Honestly, if I'm DoorDash, it's for the next video game. Like, if it's
Yeah.
for me, for
Oh,
something
that's fine.
I
If it's for
want.
yourself, that's fine.
yeah.
But
But yeah,
But yeah, I guess first of all, thank you guys, both of you guys.
Of
Like I was
course.
nervous
course.
coming in because I haven't seen you since I only saw you briefly since
Yeah.
the
when you guys
performance.
performed that,
The one that Asian Moon Fest.
yeah, the Asian Moon Festival.
Before that was the photo shoot for the team.
Yeah.
And that was like earlier this year. Like I haven't seen that. And then for you, you know, sorry for the whole Shirley
oh,
thing,
it's fine.
but
I think it's comical. Because I'm like, am I giving Shirley vibes off? Like, I'm gonna look
also
up
like
Shirley.
since I am gonna make my sure like my team sees this, and also like really big shout out to them because I want them to really know I truly appreciate and love them, and like I would not like
Absolutely.
yes there'd be some times where I feel like I'm balding because of everything that's going on,
And that's why he
There
has the
was-
hat.
right? And really, and there are days where I feel like I'm gonna cry during DoorDash because of how stressed it is, but like I
Yeah.
just want them to understand like. Each one of them is what makes it worth it, though. Like they give me
Good job.
all that energy and happiness to make it. Like I'm very happy to. I'm tired, but
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But you're
very
still finding
proud
joy,
of what they become and stuff. Like seeing where they grew from day one, seeing where they are now, it's like it's amazing, and that's what I strive for. And just having them with me because they could choose not to do this. Like
Right,
you know,
absolutely.
they're choosing to sacrifice their weekends too to be with me, and that I appreciate too, making all those bonds and memories. So please, guys, like I know I said some stuff, but like just know like it's all through for love, and I
Yeah.
appreciate them so much because without them I
awesome.
wouldn't be here. Luminescent wouldn't be here without them. So they're really the ones putting more in. Like I think
Right.
they're putting more things into the team than I can because they're what giving me the energy to even make these kind of stuff. You know, go forward
Nice.
without them. So yeah.
that.
See, this is why
That
you're
sounds beautiful.
the perfect guest to talk about leadership because I know you've been leading the team. So
It's crazy. I know
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a good.
yeah, and it was funny because you just like that's a very sensitive topic, but I was like,
And then he's like, now we're gonna name drop.
Yeah, because
all right,
of you.
before we end the podcast, let's name drop all the people. Let's
How many strikes? How many strikes?
name all the strikes.
Lindsay. I'm kidding. But no, I do have the most currently right now.
Oh,
So
well.
fortunately, I can name 6 others like right off the head. But like, yeah.
But anyways, yeah,
named
I guess
No, this was so much fun.
Yeah,
I
hopefully you come back.
Yeah, I
When-
on you. Like I'll wait for you.
on your, you know, whenever you, I guess take a break. Maybe.
December's looking good. If you
Okay.
wanna go.
Yeah, that's like 3 months from now. That's sounds pretty good.
3 months, good enough time. I
Yeah.
haven't got to that part of my
Oh,
life yet.
gosh.
So
But yeah, yeah. Any final thoughts?
No, I think that was it.
no,
All
love
right.
you guys a lot. Really appreciate this.
Well,
thank you guys.
Thank you for coming.
Really,
Killed
thank
it.
you.
And you're killing it.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
Hey.
Luminescent.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, yeah, I guess see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Follow JERiCK and every platform.
And me.
And Felicia.
And Felicia,
You need to check
follow
your photos.
everybody.
No joke. I'm gonna share your
Hi,
photos to
Felicia.
everybody. I'm gonna DM your photos to the
Thank
team
you.
too.